You've pulled an all-nighter before, maybe cramming for an exam, binge-watching something you definitely shouldn't have started on a Tuesday, or just doom-scrolling until 4 a.m., wondering if penguins have needs. They do, by the way. Stay with. And the next morning, you felt like a haunted version of yourself. A little foggy, a little unhinged. Maybe you cried at a cereal commercial, but here's the thing. That was just one night without sleep. So what happens if you push further? What if you go 2 days, 3, a week? What does your body actually do when you refuse to give it what it needs most? The answer starts uncomfortable and gets genuinely terrifying. Let's go. So you've been up for 24 hours. Congrats, you've matched the world record for being a college student. At this point, your body isn't panicking yet, but it's absolutely sending you passive-aggressive notes. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that handles decisions, impulse control, and should I really text my ex, starts going offline. You're technically functioning, but your judgment is cooked. Studies show that after 24 hours without sleep, your cognitive performance is equivalent to having a blood alcohol level of 0.10%, which is legally drunk in most countries. So you're not just tired, you're impaired. Your reaction time slow, your attention drift. You start making choices you'd never make rest, like agreeing to help someone move on a Saturday, or ordering a large at 11 p.m. Your body also starts pumping out more cortisol. That's your stress hormone, because your brain is basically going, alert, something is very wrong. We are under attack. You are not under attack. You just watched Netflix for 19 hours straight. All right, 2 days, no sleep. This is where it stops being funny and starts being fascinating in a horrifying way. Your immune system takes a real hit here. The proteins your body uses to fight infection, called cytokines, drop significantly. So if there's a cold going around, you're catching it. Gift wrap with a bow. But the really wild thing that starts happening around the 48-hour mark, microsleeps. Your brain, without your permission, without any warning, starts taking tiny naps. We're talking 1 to 30 seconds. Your eyes might stay open. You might not even notice. You could be mid-sentence and your brain just skips a beat, like a scratched DVD. Now imagine that happening while you're driving, or operating machinery, or giving an important presentation. This is why sleep deprivation is one of the leading causes of accidents worldwide. Your brain will sleep. The only question is whether you've chosen a safe moment for it to do so. Oh, and then the emotional dysregulation. Brutal. Small things feel catastrophic. Someone uses the wrong tone in a text and suddenly you're spiraling. Dog barks outside and it feels like a personal attack. Your amygdala, the brain's emotional alarm system, becomes hyperactive when you're sleep deprived. It reacts to everything like it's a threat. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex that's supposed to calm it down, still on vacation. 3 days without sleep. Here's where we enter territory that sounds like fiction, but is very, very real. Hallucinations? Yep, your brain, desperate for the dream cycles it's been denied, starts creating them anyway. While you're awake, people at this stage report seeing shadows moving in their peripheral vision, hearing sounds that aren't there, feeling bugs crawling on their skin. Some people see full visual distortion, patterns warping, faces morphing, objects that simply do not exist. Randy Gardner, the teenager who famously stayed awake for 11 days in 1964 as a science experiment, started hallucinating at day 3. He became convinced a street sign was a person. He thought he was a famous football player. At 72 hours, basic motor function starts degrading. Your hands might tremble. You have trouble speaking clearly. Words come out scrambled or slurred. You might not be able to do simple math. And emotionally, full breakdown territory. Paranoia sets in. People around you start feeling like threats. You misread expression. You misinterpret intention. Your body temperature regulation also starts to fail. You feel hot, then cold, then both at once somehow. And the cruel irony? After 3 days without sleep, many people report that they actually stop feeling sleep. The hunger for sleep is so massive that it kind of loops back around into numbness. Your brain has given up asking nice. Now, from here on, we're in rare and dangerous territory. For obvious ethical reasons, you can't run clinical human trials at this stage. But we have case studies, accidents, and grimly, war records to pull from. By day 4 and 5, cognitive function is so impaired that people can't complete basic tasks. Memory doesn't form properly. You can have a full conversation and have zero recollection of it 10 minutes later. There's a condition called fatal familial insomnia, an incredibly rare genetic prion disease, where people genuinely cannot sleep. Not won't, cannot. And it is exactly as terrible as it sounds. Patients progressively lose the ability to sleep until their nervous systems collapse entirely. Most most don't survive beyond 18 months after symptoms begin. It's one of the only known cases in medicine where sleeplessness itself becomes the direct cause of death. Now, just to be clear, you cannot die from voluntary sleep deprivation in the way FFI patients do. If you're just a regular person who decided to stay awake, your body will eventually force you to crash. You will fall asleep. There's no getting around. But here's the catch. Chronic partial sleep deprivation. That's not pulling one all-nighter, but consistently getting 5 or 6 hours when you need 7 or 8. That's quietly doing enormous damage over time. Increased risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, obesity, Alzheimer's disease, depression, stroke. The research is genuinely alarming. Matthew Walker, one of the world's leading sleep scientists, puts it bluntly. No aspect of our biology is left unscathed by sleep deprivation. So why is sleep this powerful? What is actually happening in there? Sleep isn't just your body turning off. It's your body running the overnight shift. During deep sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system, essentially a waste-clearing mechanism that flushes out toxic byproducts that build up during the day. One of those byproducts? The research is genuinely alarming. Matthew Walker, one of the world's leading sleep scientists, puts it bluntly. No aspect of our biology is left unscathed by sleep deprivation. So why is sleep this powerful? What is actually happening? Sleep isn't just your body turning off. It's your body running the overnight shift. During deep sleep, your brain activates the glymphatic system, essentially a waste-clearing mechanism that flushes out toxic byproducts that build up during the day. One of those byproducts? Beta-amyloid plaques, the same ones associated with Alzheimer's disease. Every night you sleep well, your brain takes out its own trash. Every night you don't, the trash piles up. During REM sleep, your brain is doing emotional process, filing away memories, making sense of experiences, and essentially running a defrag on your emotional hard drive. Dreams aren't random noise. They're your brain working through the day's events and cataloging what matters. Your muscles repair, your hormones reset, your immune cells mobilize. Growth hormone, which is critical for cellular repair in adults, not just kids, is almost exclusively released during deep sleep. Sleep is not a passive state. It is the most productive thing your body does in a 24-hour period.